Hey everyone, great to see you again. Happy to be back. So happy to be back. So, first things first, you may have noticed my hair is pretty fancy right now. That is because today I went and did the trial run for my wedding hair. So this is something that we're trying out. It doesn't really look like the inspo image that I gave my stylist. I will show you that now. But it is still pretty great. Even after, today has been a muggy, humid, rainy day. Funny story, we went out to a diner for lunch, and leaving the diner, it was pouring rain. They gave me a paper bag to put over my head so I would stay dry. So that was a pretty fun memory. Just quickly touching on this, I will be wearing this tiara with it, so let me show you what that could possibly look like. See, this is going to be sitting on my head like this. It's a little hard to see in this lighting. We're thinking of maybe putting it around the braid that he did here, or, ooh, sad thing is it gets pretty stuck. BRB. So the other and probably better option is in this photo, which I just took while I was a little off screen trying to get it out of my hair. The reason we are here today. I've decided to make my bouquet of flowers out of graphic novel images. And of course, there's no contest on what graphic novel I am using. I have used exclusively which images. I followed this person's tutorial on how to do comic flowers at first, but then I really didn't like the rose idea because I feel like you can't really see the images in all their glory. Also, I didn't like the method of how they just put the template onto a page of comic and cut it out, which, by the way, I would make a copy. I would not cut from a book that's out there. Even though if the book was on its last legs, I totally, fully support using a book for a craft if it's not really going to be surviving as a book anymore. I also followed this person's tutorial on how to make paper tiger lilies because I felt tiger lilies were the best in terms of seeing the image. It left the most plain for the image. And then I also remembered that I had Photoshop to work with. So I actually went and I took some parts of the comic that I thought were either really beautiful or very important to the story. I also went to see how they would fit into this template. So I followed the template where, I traced a bowl and all these things. I'm going to try to make these templates and the flowers I made available through Google Drive, through our Digital Bloodlines account. That should hopefully be posted down in the description below. Bear with me if it's not up there immediately. I'm trying to figure that out. And I played around in Photoshop, and it really did take some working with. I made a underlayer that I colored teal because our colors for the wedding are purple and teal, also very fitting for witch. So I went with this teal color because my dress is in shades of purple, which I cannot wait for you to see. So I made this kind of like a sandwich as I was working in Photoshop if you want to start from the base templates. I put the flower outline underneath. I filled color in that one just to see how things were filling out and kind of to give a pop of some color in there besides just plain white to go with our color scheme. Then I put the images there where I, trimmed them, erased pieces, and then the overlayer was just the outline of the flower with no internal pieces so that I could just see how it was fitting into the shape. Then you'll see on some of these, I tried to also smudge the image in towards the center of the flower to try to mimic how that kind of happens on real flowers. Now I will show you the original comic image with the flower that ended up next to it. And go. Now I'm going to flip my camera around to look at the table to pick up at the next few steps here on how to actually assemble the flower. Welcome back to my lovely table. I actually literally had to dust it off. It's been such a long time. So here are all my flowers. I went ahead and actually glued them down on kind of a tough construction paper or cardstock so that they were stronger than just on printer paper. So I've gone ahead and done a dark purple and a dark blue, which is very close or just in the color palette that we are going to be using for the wedding. I really just love how this one turned out, the iconic image of the cover. Love it. What I'm going to use to hold my flowers is this bottle. Our invitations, as I'll put up the pictures, were messages in bottles, and this is an extra one that I had left over. Our invitations were very cool. They were scrolls inside. Very awesome. I did that myself. I even did this bottle myself. Maybe we'll do a tutorial on how at some point in the future, just after all the hectic wedding things come to an end. So I've gone ahead and purchased a flower kit from Amazon, and it came with these bendy green stems that I'm using for the flower stems. I'm also going to link that below in the description. What we're going to do is we are going to use beads to make kind of the stamen of the flower. So I had a lot of leftover beads from my second witchcraft. Of these leftover pieces, I'm going to use this metallic-y purple clear bead, or this transparent metallic purple bead, this gold coppery metal bead, and this very Heart of Kandrakar looking glass bead. So I try to keep these techniques simple so that anyone may do them. Let's give it a shot. So we'll first take the dark transparent bead onto the stem. Come down about an inch or so. I'm trying to get this purple part out of the background. Okay, just like that. I'm going to take my Kandrakar bead and put that over the top. Okay, so remember you have that inch, and then I'm going to just hold my thumb and finger here to hold them in place, and I'm just going to kind of bend down on the green piece so that it's down like that. And then you're almost going to make your own little sands of time, which we'll be seeing in ARC 4. Let me get these out of the shot. So hopefully it'll focus. Okay, then we're going to kind of bend it like that. Try to keep it nice and tight. So we're curving down like this. Then I'm just kind of rolling around and down, and you can tighten it as you go, like that. So a little bit like the sand of time that you'll see in ARC 4. Tighten it up where you need. We want to have them be able to sit and stay where they are. Okay. Then we take our metal bead, put it on the bottom, go all the way to the top, and it should fit around the green pieces there. So we have a tip just like that. Then what you're going to do is, because these are a little bit long, cut maybe an inch off the end of that. Sorry if this is fuzzy right now. Cut an inch off of that. And then, very much like how we wrapped wire around itself in the ornament video, we are then going to just twist it around multiple times just under these beads so that they do not roll down. It's okay to get wide with it because you don't want that metal bead sliding down. It is very easy to slide down. As you can see, this is the stamen of our flower. Sorry for the shadow. I'm kind of filming with the camera behind the light. And then you're going to go ahead and make 14 more of those. Good job. Gorgeous. And quick and easy. Now, we are going to take our lilies. Mind you, that solid piece, there will be the sixth one. This will have nothing on it, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to fold it over so that it becomes a 3D flower. Okay, remember, go like this, from flat to 3D. And I'm going to use hot glue. Since my paper's pretty thick, I don't think it should singe through. Let's hope. But yeah, I'm going to use hot glue to pinch these together and kind of keep it together. It's just the quickest way to you know, move along with these. So here's my hot glue. Put that down carefully and over and pinch. Still very toasty, actually. Be careful, especially if it comes around the side here. Whew. There we go. And then you've got your 3D flower. That should solidify very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and pinch on the bottom so that that stays together nicely. Now I'm just going to turn the camera off really quick to just hurry through the rest of these so that I'm not wasting battery life. And look how beautiful they are. You could, as you're gluing them shut, fit your stamen and stem, sorry, let's just call it the stem, fit your stem into the flower as you are closing it. It's a little more challenging to do. I will show you how to do it a different way than that. Reminder, hot glue gets very hot. This was very toasty to work with, but not bad because my paper was thick enough that it kind of protected me somewhat. We still have to kind of crease them in a way that they look more like tiger lilies. When I put this through, I went and I put a glob of hot glue down in the center there. I was able to reach my glue gun down in there, and it ended up kind of looking like a pool of water, which is also great for us as, you know, fake flowers go. And I just kind of had to stabilize it and hold it in place for a bit. It took a little bit of time, but you know, that's what we're gonna have to do for the rest of them anyway. But if you decided to wait to stick your stem in, you might find that some of them have just big enough of a hole for you to poke it through, like this one did. Because the way that the paper creased, there was a way for me to slide it in. And sometimes just the tightness of that is enough to hold the stamen in place, but I should keep going off camera. We want to be able to keep the flower stable, so we are going to have to do a dribble of hot glue in there. And I'm choosing to go up about 1 inch from the center of the flower so that these are kind of seen from the side. Alright, so I'm going to keep I'm holding the stem with my lower fingers here, keeping it away from there because hot glue might come through. Alright, I'm kind of holding it where I want it, stabilizing, getting my glue gun, trying to go deep down in there, do a little squirt of glue, come out. You're going to get trails. That is natural for glue guns. Then you're going to want to do maybe a little twist, maybe pull down just a little bit so some hot glue goes through the center of the flower. And then, like all good art, you must wait. So I will wait for this to stabilize. Alright, and then once it's not really rolling around on itself, you can kind of declare it finished. Alright, quick note. If by chance there is no hole at the bottom, you can make one with a good old thumbtack. Push the tack through, wiggle it around, and you should have a hole big enough for a stem. Oh, look how beautiful. However, we're not done just yet. We still have one more step to give them that tiger lily look. Taking a pen or pencil, really anything rounded. Let's try. This paintbrush might give me a nice curve. Then you're going to just kind of take it and roll. See how I'm doing that? I'm kind of wrapping it a little bit and then pushing out. Even just giving a full wrap. Kind of wrapping it around my paintbrush, and it gives us that nice curve that you see in the real life flowers. So let me go ahead and do the rest of this particular one. Here's one that has been bent on the edges to look more like a tiger lily. Let me show you back what it originally looked like. So you could choose to keep them sharp up like that, or you can fan them out. Makes a big difference. Alright, and here is what the rest of the bouquet looks like when they've been tiger lilified. Okay, my next step is going to be taming these flowers. Right now they kind of all flounce like this, and there's like a pretty big bald spot on this side. My kit also came with a bunch of ways to make flowers, you know, bouquet together, so I'm gonna figure that out. Also, what I'm gonna end up doing is, here is a piece of fabric from my wedding look that I am going to tie around the bottle to be kind of like a bow. So, you know, I'll be carrying it around like this kind of thing. I still had a lot of leftover wire from when I made the ornaments. So what I went ahead and did is I actually made this curlicue with this paintbrush that gets wider at one end. I just kind of wrapped it around and got a little closer as I got towards the end. And I got this interesting little curlicue. So I'm thinking what I will do is actually snip it off and put a couple of these in with the bouquet. So my kit also came with dark green stiffer wire that I wrapped around the stem that I had already to thicken it up, and also allowed me to bend the flowers certain ways. So after this project, I definitely have a deeper respect for people that arrange flowers. It is very challenging to get an aesthetic layout. And that concludes the third Witchcrafts. Hope to see you again soon. Arc 4 is almost done. I'm still getting my remaining screenshots from the last 2 issues of that arc. So after I do that, I will then sort them and then write a script. So I should hopefully be done with that soon. And Arc 4 hopefully will be out. I don't know if it'll be out before the wedding, but definitely towards the end of September, because I will have so much free time. Alright, thanks and bye. You can follow me on Instagram at ShySky47, and you can send emails to digibloodlines@gmail.com.